Okay, I want to start this morning on habit number 5. Okay, this is actually the 12th Monday we are doing daily dose. I want to thank Huisuan for starting this off. I can't imagine it's 3 months we've been doing it, and I've benefited so much. And habit 5 is where I'm really looking forward to practice these things more and more. Okay, so let's recall the 7 habits of highly effective people. Habit 1 was to be proactive. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. Habit 3, put first things first. Habit 4, think win-win. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Habit 6, synergize. Habit 7, sharpen the saw. The first 3 habits are what we call private victories that grow you from dependence to independence. Okay, and then the rest of the habits are public victories as you grow in interdependence with others. Okay, so habit 5 is part of working with people. Seek first to understand, then be understood. I think we all agree that communication is the most important skill in life, certainly in leadership. When the leader says follow me, you better be clear he's saying follow me, and people better be clear that they can listen. So we communicate in 4 basic ways: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. In our professional capacity, you would say, hey, why do I need to listen to habit 5? Listening is natural. I need to do it. Imagine if a surgeon doesn't listen and he removes the wrong part of your body. Or even when we eat, we go and ask for char kway teow ai hiam, and then he doesn't. There's no chili. We get very upset. We'll send it back straight away. And of course in our drinks, teh si siu dai. We expect to have teh si, and expect it to be siu dai. And it happens all the time. It gets delivered all the time in professional capacity. But at the personal level, I think most of us will agree that we are poorest at listening. So in habit 5, we are not talking just about listening. Okay, we're not talking just about listening, but about emphatic listening. Some people use the word empathetic, but I did some research that the classic phrase is emphatic listening. Okay. This is the most important principle of interpersonal relationships. Seek first to understand, then be understood. It must surely be the cry of many children, many wives. This would be Jackie's cry about me. Just don't try to understand. Many Singaporeans, it's the cry of many Singaporeans as shown in the recent election results. And I believe it is essential if you want to develop and maintain positive relationships that eventually result in you being able to get into people's lives such that you can empower them to then improve their lives. Now, emphatic listening is not sympathy. It's not agreeing to someone. Okay, emphatic listening is that you fully, deeply understand the person emotionally as well as intellectually. They say it's listening with your ears, your eyes, and your heart. You're listening for feeling. You're listening for meaning. You're listening for the behavior. You're trying to feel that person. Okay? And Covey says that next to physical survival, the greatest need is to be understood, affirmed, validated, and appreciated. And just before this call, I had a great experience of not affirming, not validating, and not appreciating a very dear friend of mine. So I'm just so sorry for that. But anyway, so most of us, including me for sure, need to learn the skills of emphatic listening, because we do not listen to understand. We listen with the intent to reply. We are either speaking or preparing to speak as the other person is sharing. We filter everything through our own lens, our own experiences. And really, when you think of it, how can you not help that? You know, that is your experience. That is how you see things. So unless we deliberately take off our glasses, you know, and then diagnose a set of glasses that fits the other person, you know, the other person is not going to be able to see because we are not wearing the right glasses. Okay. So these some skills to learn. Okay. Number one, listen with the intent to understand. Okay. So when I'm listening, my intention is to understand, just to understand. Okay. Not to be able to give advice, not to be able to evaluate, just to understand. I want to get inside the other person's frame of reference. I want to see the world as they see it. I need to understand how they feel emotionally and intellectually. In coaching, it's what we say, wear his or her moccasins. Okay. So, you know, these are really the skills. Okay. Listen with the intent to understand, get inside the other person's frame of reference, see the world as they see it, and understand how they feel emotionally and intellectually. Now, you've heard that communication is 10% words, 30% sounds. Okay. How excited we are, you know, and 60% body language. Okay, 10% words, 30% sounds, 60% body language. So we have to listen with more than our ears, or more than just reading a text, to get a good idea of how a person is really feeling and why they are thinking the way they do. So there's what we call an emphatic listening skill, or a procedure that you follow in a conversation. Okay, so first you want to mimic content, then you want to rephrase the content, third you want to reflect the feeling, and fourth you want to rephrase and reflect. Okay. For example, John says, okay, I'm having such a difficult time getting people to join my business. I'll post an example of this conversation after the daily dose. Okay? Okay. So John says, I'm having such a difficult time getting people to join my business. So you to mimic it, you reply, you are having a difficult time getting people to be a part of your business in recruiting. Then to rephrase it, you say, when it comes to recruiting, you haven't been able to enroll anybody into your business. That's rephrasing it. Okay. Now, reflecting the feeling would be, for example, John, it sounds like you might be feeling discouraged. An example of rephrasing and reflecting would be someone saying, are you worried that you'll never be able to recruit people? Okay. So I'll post that as an example. It really needs some study and practice. Okay. So let me summarize the steps to listening success. Okay. First of all, we want to develop strength of personal character. That's habit 1 and habit 2. Okay. Habit 1 is knowing who you are. Habit 2 is knowing what you want to do, what you want out of life. Okay. So you need to know who you are. You need to know what you stand for, so that there's no need to defend yourself or protect your self-image in a conversation when someone reacts or says something about you or what you need to say. Okay, you don't need to defend yourself or protect yourself because you are confident about who you are. The second step is to build up a positive emotional bank account with a person. Okay, that's part of the building trust. Okay. We say that with children. 9 positive things, 1 negative thing, because you need to build up the emotional bank account. Okay. Number 3, you want to implement these emphatic listening skills that we talked about earlier. Because what you want to have happen is the 4th stage, where you let the other person get to the problem and solution at their own pace and time. Okay. This is about resisting giving advice. And in our business, where we want to get results quickly in network marketing, and we say don't reinvent the wheel. We've been there, we walked that. It's really very difficult to resist giving advice. But when you want to develop a person to empower himself to find a better solution, to have confidence in himself, you really want to let the other person get to the problem and solution. Okay, and let them make their own mistakes or let them find their best answer. Okay, so resist giving advice. Now I want to share a story. This is a real story. It's really, really raw. I've got permission of Hui Xuan to share this story. This is a negative example. It's an example of what happens when we don't practice habit 5. Okay. So Hui Xuan is friends with this person that she met through a referral last December. Okay, so it's about 6 months. And they've been dancing around New Skin for a few months, and recently even more so. You know, this person, once she got to know our community, loves it. She just absolutely loves the daily dose, and it's been very, very positive. And Hui Xuan really wants to help her as a person. Okay. Then what happened is, after one late night series of WhatsApp messages, she got really, really upset. Okay. Hui Xuan apologizes, and this is the response of this person. And this response gives you a good picture of what went wrong. And I'm going to read this to you. So she replied, this lady replied, "Apology accepted. However, I don't think I'm comfortable using the tactics you used on me on my own network. As I mentioned, you joined New Skin when you had a great career and salary. When you said the US $297 courses you took were so cheap, I knew our views on money differ greatly. Money was and is the least of your worries. I thought I could look up to you because you are also a single mom. But I forgot the greatest difference between us is you are rich and I'm barely surviving. Elitists will never understand the worries of people with financial limitations. I refuse to use those words you said to me. I don't know why it's expensive to you, on anyone, regardless of situation. I don't think such tactics of fear-mongering and insulting another person fit my ethics. MLM really can be a scary business." Okay, so it's obvious that she completely didn't feel understood, despite the fact that I think Hui Xuan understands her situation very well, because Hui Xuan, I know, has been many, many times poorer, and she has many more people dependent on her. If anyone, and you agree with me, you know Hui Xuan, if anyone has the temperament of an emphatic listener, it would be Hui Xuan. Okay, but this was a disastrous outcome. Complete misunderstanding, okay, and complete wrong use of words. So it shows how important this skill and practice, to seek first to understand and then be understood is. And that's why, those of you who know me and are coached by me, I say don't coach or communicate serious stuff by WhatsApp or message. You just absolutely don't do that. Because the WhatsApp is just words, and words communicate 10%, and there's all these other things that are now left to imagination. And certainly don't attempt to communicate late at night when you yourself are emotionally frazzled and you are in a hurry, because you can see this process of mimicking, rephrasing, expressing the feeling, and then rephrasing and expressing, and letting the other person come to the complete absolutely takes time. Okay, but it's not to find a solution. It's that you don't want to destroy a relationship of trust. Okay, so does habit 5 end here? Does habit 5 end when you're able to listen to people? No, because if you look at the second part of habit 5, it is then to be understood. Okay, so all this is to build positive relationships, but then it's later to create the space where you share and enroll people to your vision. Remember, it's a win-win. Habit 4, but win. It's a win-win outcome. Okay, you're a great person with a vision. You want other people to come on board. Okay, so it's understand first, then to be understood. Okay, so this is something that I'm going to be practicing hard. So be patient with me if I mimic you, if I try to rephrase and get it wrong, okay, and try to reflect your feeling. Okay, this is okay. But by the way, my own final insight to you: all I've spoken about is about listening to man, okay, or woman. This applies even more to listening to God. If I want to make sure my ladder is not up against the wrong wall at the end of my life, okay, so listen to God too.